In our Tech Talk segment, have you ever looked at an app and said to yourself, I can create something better than that, but you just don't have the technical know-how, the technical skills to do it? Well, my next guest from Fresh Tech Solutions can walk you through the process of creating your own app. Joining us from Houston, Texas is Fresh Tech Solutions Executive Officer Derrell Noris. Derrell, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing outstanding. Okay, so talk us through it. What do you guys do? How are you teaching people how to make their own apps?
So we're actually making apps. I've been making apps for about 10 years. So we have a full development team. We do like to take people through that process of, we get a lot of people with ideas that come and, they don't have any guidance on how to do that. So we like to take those ideas, formulate a pitch deck, try to get them connected to investors so they can come back and get the app developed.
All right, and so kind of break that process down a little bit for people, because when you're going from the idea phase to actually getting the app developed, walk us through a little bit, just kind of step by step, what that process will be like if somebody has an idea, if they contact you toward then finally getting the app out.
Definitely. So it is a process. It's a long process, simply because every idea we have is an actual business. So we have to do all the research behind it, as far as breaking down the competition analysis, the go-to-market strategy, the financial projections. So it's not just, we're different from the other app companies because we're not just building an app, we're actually building businesses. So once they go through that process of actually figuring out how this will work as a business, then we can get to that wireframing session. What would each screen look like? A lot of these are, on paper, we have lots of whiteboards at the office. So actually mapping out what screens is actually going to look like, what happens when you click on this, and then from there, we just work our magic on the development side.
And so it's more than just creating the app. It's actually creating the entire business plan for the person, creating the logo, creating the name, those sorts of things.
Correct.
All right, and so with that, what sorts of apps are available? Is it just anything under the sun that you outsource out, or is it something where you have a particular set of templates where people kind of choose from those sorts of things?
So that's a great question. So we have two different levels. I call them the business level and the idea level. On the business level apps, we do have, it's pretty much template based. So, this can be anything from churches to chambers of commerce to mobile detailing companies. But we also get all of these ideas, the next Uber or the next Snapchat, whatever it may be. Those are going to be fully custom developed apps.
All right, I'm going to bring our panel in to join this conversation because Scott, I think all of us look at something, we say, "Man, I could have thought of that like 5 years ago." What do you think needs to happen for more people to take advantage of companies like this that can help you develop going forward?
Well, I think just knowing that they exist out there. I was just thinking as I was listening to Tech Solutions, our guests, and I was thinking, okay, if I was going to build an app, who would I go to get that type of service or that type of assistant? So exposure is just really important. The other thing I was thinking about was, okay, so we have major companies who have these apps, and they seem to turn around these applications or create these apps within, it seems like 30 days, 60 days. It's quick turnaround. Do they just have that expertise? Or for someone like me who has an idea, you suggested that it takes a lot longer vis-a-vis the business application and then the technology behind the app too. Can you reconcile those two kind of scenarios? Major company comes up with an app, there's an app for that. And then someone like me who may come to you and say, I got this concept and I want to start this business and I want you to help me.
That's a great question, man. And so it is two-sided. So the main reason that we're not able to get those apps out to these smaller companies is pure funding. The big companies, they have the money to hire, they can pay six figures for an app and not think about it. The average founder, the average Black founder, they don't have the access to that capital. And that's kind of why we started. We actually started as a straight app company, but we determined that we needed to help these people get in front of these funding before they can get this app developed. So yes, funding is
How much does it cost? How much does it cost to create an app if I contract with you? Because that's huge. You're right. I mean, you can get me in front of funding, but if I come to you with a concept, and let's say I have the means, how much would it cost for me to work with you to create an app for A. Scott Bolden?
So Google, it's a great question. Google says the average app development cost is $50,000 to $300,000, which is a huge range.
Damn.
On those business level apps, we're able to do them for
I don't know if I want to spend all that on you. I want you to be successful, but I don't know if I want to spend all that on you.
Scott,
But keep
you
talking.
already.
Keep
For the
talking.
rest of us, Scott already got money. Continue.
Yeah. Go on, ask your questions. I'm sorry, but you've been very helpful to me.
No worries.
All
Like
right,
I said,
Kelly, do you have a question?
No, I'm just looking through the website right now. I'm looking through the website right now, and you clearly do more than just mobile app development. So could you explain how, like, not just your other services, but how they all integrate with, app development if they need to, how you can silo each one, just talk a little bit about each of your services.
Definitely. So the names, we always start with a name storming session. So if an idea comes, somebody had a dream last night and they don't even have a name for their product, we actually do surveys and do the naming of that. After naming is branding. We don't do logos. We do branding guidelines, multiple logos, mock-ups. So that's the second process. The third process is that pitch deck. In which that's the most important piece of all of this, because that's what business owners really learn about their business. They really learn how it's going to make money. How many people do I need to sell this to? How many people do I need to download the app in order for this to be successful, and we can get our investors their funding back. So after the pitch deck is created, then that's when we go into the web development phase, the website development phase. So we do love apps, but their website is still critical real estate to have. Mm-hmm. So we do the website. After the website, we do the app. After the app, we do social media management to help market that app. So we're literally a full service provider from the idea concept until they're up and running and scaling.
Do you have examples of some successful projects that you can share?
Yes, we've done the app for the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce. We have a very successful app called Houston Cultures. We're working on one of my biggest projects right now. It's called Match Me Learning. So be on the lookout for that. It's a tutoring service. So coming soon.
All right, Lauren, do you have a question for our guests? Are you trying to get your app done?
No, I've got a e-commerce thing going, and it doesn't really need an app. I wondered about, though, when you develop an app for somebody, it obviously requires a continuous upkeep, so when you take on more and more clients, how do you keep up with that? Because you have to sort of obviously update as the technology moves forward. And do clients stay with you? Do they go to other people? Like, how does that work?
No, we don't get clients who leave us often. I believe the only client that's left us, they went out of business. But once they do get an app with us, there is monthly maintenance fees to handle the hosting and those updates that Apple and Android always put out. So yes, it is a long-term process. It's a long-term thing.
All right,
Thanks.
Derrell, before we run out of time, how can people get the app? How can people follow you on social media? How they can contact you? All the hermeneutics on how to make sure we can get people directed in the right place.
Definitely. So it's the website is FreshTechSolutions.com. That's Fresh Tech Solutions with a Z on the end because we're cool. You can follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook. So we love to talk to you about getting you on that app store as well.
All right, well, we'll be in contact. I need an app. I think people won't need their daily patillo. They'll get a quote from me every day on a push notification. We'll develop it. It'll go viral. Everybody will love it. Derrell Noris, executive Fresh Tech Solutions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right.